Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer with over 20 years experience training dogs and people. If you've got a doggy dilemma, Denise can help.
Welcome to another episode of Doggy Dilemmas. I'm Denise Mazzola. Today we are meeting Bo. Bo is a 14-month-old black lab. Yes, he's very large. I think he's half moose. Bo. One of Bo's biggest issues is the fact that he jumps. His response to just about anything is to jump on it. Jump on me, jump on the door, jump on the gate, jump on the counter, whatever it is. So we're going to work with that a little bit today. He also knows sit already. So after all the jumping shenanigans end, then he sort of regains his thought process and says, oh, well, maybe if I sit, she'll give me something. And the answer right now is yes, I will give you something for sitting. A little piece of chicken for today. Good boy. And then we'll see what happens again, that if he doesn't feel like it's happening quite fast enough for him, he may start to jump again. We're going to talk about impulse control. We're going to do some more lure reward training. We've done that in the past, but I don't think you can hear it enough times before you really start to process how to train using lure reward, positive reinforcement, so that you can get rid of the treats and you don't end up, one, stuck always having to have food on you to get your dog to work for you, or sometimes you end up using prong collars or other adversive techniques which actually cause pain and discomfort to the dog because you end up frustrated because you're not really sure what the next step is. So we're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about preventing resource guarding. And we've had some resource guarders on the show in the past. These are dogs that don't want to share bones, bully sticks, or sometimes even beds or different places like that. You are so funny. So I'm going to show you how to prevent that from happening with Bo. And I've brought his crate upstairs because he has been crate trained. He sleeps in his crate all night. He stays in there quietly at night until I get up in the morning and I'm ready to take him out. He goes out according to my schedule. We're compromising. He's still young. He needs to go out often, but he's a pretty big boy, so his capacity to hold his business is pretty good still. And the other thing I hope that he'll do, since I brought the crate upstairs, is that he likes to race me to the crate. So if he knows it's crate time and has seen me pick up some treats in my hand, he will try to get in there as fast as possible. It's just really cute. And we'll see if he'll do that for you guys or not. Are you ready? Good boy. So I'm going to give him a treat just for lying down. Oh, and so then there's that no impulse control. So we'll start with that. He saw it. He thinks he needs to have it right now. So he's going to jump all over for it. I don't even think good boy. So what you don't want to do is you don't want your dog to jump on you, get off, and then get the treat. Because what you're going to end up training is a dog that learns, oh, jump on her, sit, get a treat. You want the sit to be happening more than anything. So I want to wait until he offers it. He does know it by word, but I'm going to wait. Good boy. So he did no jumping. Did you see that lunge at my hand? That's really unfortunate. There you go. So we're going to work with that. We're going to work with whatever Bo sort of brings up to us today. So along with impulse control, here's my piece of chicken. I'm going to bring it down towards his nose, and he must wait until I get there. Good boy. It was very nice. Better than I expected. If he lunges for the chicken, it will make the chicken go away. No, it wasn't a lunge. Good boy. So that was pretty good too. I'm impressed, Bo. So let's see in real life if we can get this to happen. So all you do is just bring the food down. You don't need to say anything. They're going to learn by trial and error. See how much he waits? Oh, good. I don't know if you could see that. He actually pulled his face away from me just a little bit, which was very nice. One more. Puts his head down. There, good. So when he moved his head away from me, I'm going to put the chicken right in his mouth because that's a behavior that I like. Hey, I'm going to bring food to your mouth. Let's have you tip your head away from it a little bit. Then we get the bouncing again. You just don't know what to do with yourself. Okay. Down. Let's see where we are with this. Good boy. So there's a 14-week-old puppy. There was no food in my hand to ask that. He's doing really well with that. And for the sit, there's, well, wow. That was very good and surprising me. So I'm going to ask him to stand, and I have the food in my hand. I'm going to just bring it parallel with the floor until he stands. Then he gets it. Down. Because I want to ask him for the down. He's thinking, sort of. No. Okay, so we didn't get it, so I'm not going to ask him again. I don't want to build in a sort of rejection or a refusal. He's a frog. Down. So I'll take that one. That wasn't too bad. There's a lot of shenanigans walking around a little bit, but you have to use your best judgment in, is the dog processing what you've asked? Is he just totally screwing around? You know, it's slippery up here, isn't it? What's the dog doing? It felt to me like he was thinking, so I gave him a minute. But I'm still not using food, and I want him to do it from a stand. Come here. Come on. Get up. Good boy. Down. Good boy. That was the second time he's walked around me funny. Good boy. Now I can also get him up by rolling food across the floor. Sort of sets him up to do it again for me. Down. Very nice. Good boy. So I'm going to give him 1. I'm going to give him 2. I'm going to give him 3. And you notice I'm standing back up between them. 4. Good boy. 5. Good boy. It wasn't a formal stay, but when you ask your dog for a behavior, any behavior, and we're going to focus on the sit and the down for right now, and then you deliver 5 to 10, however many treats you want to, you will teach your dog duration, which is the beginning of stay. That I ask you for a behavior, you get a treat, you don't just pop back up again. Okay. So I'm going to go back a little bit. I want to show you how I started these behaviors. With a piece of food in my hand, right on his nose, tip his head up, ask him for the sit. Your hand signal is very subtle. This becomes sit. The second step is the lure, food in my hand. That goes away, and the food comes from your other hand. That's the beast that people forget or just don't know to use, and it's crucial. So after several days, once this behavior is fluid, then you're going to immediately start treating from the other hand. So be prepared with treats in both hands. Good boy. Until we get sit. Good boy. No food. He can still have the treat. And again, remember, he's 14 weeks old. He's a baby. He will need food on and off. So he generalizes these behaviors in every situation. If we went outside in the driveway or down the road or downtown Keene or in Petco or wherever we might go, he needs to learn that in all of those places he can sit. Okay. Now the other thing that I'm noticing, which is happens a lot when we're training dogs, is where is he sitting? He's almost always orienting to sitting in the front. Part of the reason that's where the bait bag is. So I'm going to swing that around the back. And part of the reason is it's just easier to work with the dog that's in front of you. So I'm going to turn sideways to him. So he didn't completely orient. Good boy. Down. Nice. Good boy. Okay. And you can also, come here, get up. Sit on your furniture like you're normally going to do. Down. Good boy. And he's making this look very easy. So there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4, because I want him to stay there for a little bit of time. Good boy. See an awful lot of... So that jumping, you probably can't see the teeth like I can see them, is lack of impulse control. He still sees it. He wants it. What am I doing next? Oh, you're not going to do anything? I'm going to jump. His answer to everything is jumping. All right, so I'm going to send him away. I'm going to sit back a little more relaxed. Sit. Good boy. So my body position is very different. Bo, down. Good boy. And now he's going to have to wait while I get the food out of my bag. You might have it in your pocket. Good boy. So I like to really heavily reinforce the down so that he'll stay there. Good boy. Now, I also am keeping the leash on him because Bo is not completely house trained yet. And if I see him start to sniff around, or even if he starts to squat, I want to be able to grab him quickly and whisk him outside as fast as I can. And the best way to do that is to keep a leash on your puppies at all times. I tell everybody that I work with puppies to do it, and I do it myself. It's so much easier because when he starts to squat someplace and I see him, I'm going to run up and say, no, 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 no. And what I want to do is to be able to run up and just grab this leash and whisk him out the door. And out we go, okay? Then if he doesn't have the leash on, then I have to start to grab him and take him by the collar, which very, very quickly you can end up with a dog that doesn't like to be grabbed by the collar because you've scared them in the process of trying to get them out very quickly. So keeping a leash on him really allows you to be 6 feet away, get the dog, and out you go. It also helps new puppies. Now he's adjusted to his leash and collar, but if you have a very young puppy in your house and you put a collar on them at 8, 9, 10 weeks, which you need to, they'll scratch at it and act like it's this totally foreign thing on them. And then you add a leash to it, and they don't even know what to do. They don't know how to walk. They don't know how to do anything. So let them just drag that leash around the house. It'll help you with their management, their house training, and it also helps with, good boy, with them adjusting. Now, if I were going to, let me just address house training briefly. Normally, he's, like I said, he drags the leash. If I wanted to sit here for any length of time, he would be here with me, and I would either just have the leash with me. I might have a bed if he needed it, if he was if he wasn't sort of a tough dog, and I'd give him something to chew on. But he would not be free roaming the house if I wanted to actually sit down and relax. And the reason is, I don't know what he's doing when he goes behind that wall. I don't know what he's doing when he goes down the hall. And in order to house train him, he has to have 0 opportunities to eliminate in the house and only opportunities to go outside. And if you are very strict with this, you will have a dog that's house trained very, very quickly. You also have to get to know your dog's rhythms and how often they go, what their signals are when they have to go. But most dogs, puppies, have to go a lot. So if they have just woken up, they'll have to go. Every time he comes out of his crate, I take him outside immediately. Anytime he's run around or chewed any kind of toy, as soon as he's done, he goes out. And that's all me taking him out. There also has to be a time, and this is the time when he's tethered and he's sort of stuck with me, that he may whine or pester me, besides jumping on me, to say, oh my goodness, I need to go out. How do I get there? And that is the point of having the leash, so that you can have a dog that has a signal to go out. That, in my opinion, is when a dog is truly house trained. When they will ask you to go outside, that's when they're house trained. And all of this preventative stuff that so many people do, well, I take them out every 2 hours or every 4 hours. Well, that's great. If you want to do that for the rest of your life, I suppose, then go ahead. But I'd much rather go about my business and have the dog tell me, hey, I need to go out now. Then I can take them out. So I'm not playing this guessing game. The other thing is, when he goes to the bathroom outside, I give him a little piece of treat. Now, I'm not using chicken outside. I think that'd be too distracting. I just have some hard milk bones or whatever they are by the back door, and that's what I put in my pocket. And it's very funny because he's starting to understand that something happens when he goes outside because he gets treats. So if he moves away from me, because I will let him drag the leash outside, if he moves away from me and eliminates, he will come charging back to me for a treat. And there are other times where he'll just poke around in the snow and then look at me for a treat. And the answer then is no, because you didn't do anything. It's only for elimination, and that helps to build the contrast between nothing happens in the house, and when I eliminate outside, I get paid for it. really? Wow. Well, that's great. Let's just keep going outside then. Yeah, that would be nice for me. I don't have to pick up so much stuff. All right. So we've done a little impulse control with treats. I've basically been ignoring his jumping. I've not done anything. I've not talked to him. I've not yelled at him. I've tried not to look at him too much when he jumps on me. And I'm not quite sure with him that that's going to be the best approach. It's what I'm going to continue to do for the next few days because he's young. But the jumping isn't going away. And normally, learning theory tells us that if you ignore a behavior and don't reinforce it, that you should get less of it. So I'm getting less jumping, but I would really like it to stop. So I may have to do some body blocking where I walk into him, and we'll see what happens. All right, let's do some more impulse control. And I have his food dish here. And so what I've been teaching Bo, this will start some jumping. Come here, come over here. I just want to set you up. There you go, sit. So he sits, sit. I'm going to tell him to wait. And he has to stay there until I tell him he can go to the dish, not when he feels like it. Wait. Can't sneak around back. So I'm going to body block him back to where I want him. Wait. So it's the sound of the dish that's on the floor that's making him get up. But that's all right. He can figure this out. Come here. We've eaten up here before. Sit. Good boy. Wait. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to clink it on the floor. Wait. And then I'm going to give him a piece of chicken. All right. So clinking predicts chicken. Okay. Wait. Okay. So I say okay. I also sometimes say release. And I just always seem to make a hand movement, but the point is he should stay there until I've released him to the dish. And that's impulse control. I don't want him to jump on me and paw at it and get it spilled all over the place. And I'm not going to have him eat that whole thing. I shouldn't have put so much in. So here's some preventative resource guarding. Resource guarding, again, is when a dog becomes aggressive, when you approach them around their food dish or a bone or anything that they think is valuable. Playing in his dish, walking up and just playing in his dish is not going to make him like me approaching. Do you want me to put my hand in your dish? I don't think so. Same thing for the dog. What I am going to do is I'm going to walk up and I am going to put some chicken in his dish. Oh. So we get nothing. Perfect. He's not guarding it. Oh, there's a little pay attention. I'm going to walk up, and I'm going to put chicken in his dish. And he naturally is backing his head out. I would totally expect that from a puppy, although not all puppies are so good. Sometimes they do resource guards. So I'm going to do it a third time, and this time I'm going to, I'm going to put the chicken, once he lifts his head up, on the floor so I can take the dish away. I just don't want him to eat so much he won't be able to work the rest of the time. Can you get the rest of it? Okay, so for the impulse control around the food dish, you can ask your dog to sit or wait. They could do a series of tricks, and they need to stay in place while you move the dish, while you put the dish down. He got up the first couple times, and I stepped into his space. That is body blocking when you step into a dog's space. I know we've done that before. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's your crate from downstairs. You want to see if we can get in? Again, we're orienting to the front. All right, get in. Get in. Good boy. So once the dog is in, I treat them. You can close the door and do what you're going to do, but we're not going to do that. Good boy. I start that by throwing the treat in. I let the dog know I have it. Get in. So it creates a positive association with the crate. Good boy. You are crazy. Hey, get in. It's in a different place. What are we doing? So he stopped to look to see if I was throwing anything in. Get in. Good boy. So that he went in on his own. Very nice. He doesn't have to have a lot of treats once he's in there. He's been very good about that. There's that jumping. Now he'll test. Can I get in there and get a treat? Good boy. What's funny is normally his crate is downstairs and it's in a corner. So if I walk past it or towards it, he's usually trying to outrun me to get in the crate. Get in. I prefer the wire crates because it allows me to drop treats in this way. Come on, get in. Get in. Creating a positive association to the crate makes everybody feel better. He enjoys going in. He knows it's a place that he's going to get paid. Oh, if I go in here, she's going to pay me. I don't pay him every time he runs in there on his own. I pay him when I've asked him to get into the crate and he runs in ahead of me, which is fine. But I don't want him running in and out there all day long and wondering when he's going to get the food. So just when I tell him, he goes in. You can use the crate for a timeout, which is a form of punishment. So if he were a barker and bark, 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 bark at the window, I could easily say, too bad. I would take him off the couch or wherever he was by his leash and I could crate him. That does not make the crate a bad place. He will still enjoy going in the crate. I think we've all sent our children to their rooms for some infraction. It doesn't make their room a bad place. It just gets them out of your hair and gives you that separation time. For the dog, it takes them away from what they want, which is to be out with a family, and it slightly punishes them by limiting where they can be, and they can only be in their crate. Now, if you put the dog in the crate and something awful happens to him in the crate, you could end up with a dog that doesn't like the crate. So let's say your dog is, you don't know it, but maybe they're thunderphobic, and you just happen to have the dog in the crate during a thunderstorm. Some dogs will make the association that the crate was the predictor of the thunderstorm. Okay, that has really nothing to do with you. If you put the dog in the crate and you know, I don't even know what you could do. Beat the side of the crate or made some loud noise or did something that scared him while he was in the crate, he may not like the crate. Okay, so you're following what I'm saying? It takes a lot to make that negative association. And if you've padded his history, padding being giving him a lot of reinforcements, a lot of high-value treats when he's in the crate, then you've padded this experience that it's always, always positive. And somewhere out there, there is a urban myth that, oh, I can't use my crate as punishment because it'll make it a bad place. And that is absolutely wrong. You can certainly use the crate as punishment. You can't beat him in the crate. You can't beat the crate with him in it. But bark, 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 too bad. Take him by the leash, put him in the crate, close the door. Leave him in there for 30 minutes. When he comes back out, you just go about your business, okay? But it's like sending a child to the room. He's pretty impressive, isn't he, with all that jumping? When I want you to do it, though, you're not. It's only when I'm not paying attention. Okay, so lots of food in the crate. He's 14 weeks. I started his crate training, well, just about a week ago, at about 12 or 13 weeks. Very young puppies, the 8, 9, 10-week-old puppies, I tend to tie them to my bed at night. I would use a leash like this. I'd bring in a dog bed, and I would just let them sleep next to me on the floor. So that what that does is if they whine or whimper in the night, I hear them right away, and I have the opportunity to take them out right away for elimination. And puppies that young will most likely have to go out to the bathroom at least once a night. And it lets me know the puppy, it lets the puppy get to know me, get to understand that the place they're in now is safe, they've been taken away from their litter. And then at 12, 13, 14 weeks, I start crate training. Now with his size and his jumping, you know, he is not loose if I'm not home because there is no, as dog-proof as my home is, there's a lot of things that are not safe. All right, so crate training, house training, and it's also fantastic for house training. When I shower in the morning, he's back in his crate unless he's in the bathroom with me so I can watch him. When I'm out seeing clients, he's in his crate. And that will teach him to hold his business so that he only has the opportunity to go out when I'm home. All right, now let's talk a little bit about resource guarding, preventing. I've shown you with the food dish, and I'm going to let him have this bully stick. He's already laying down, so I can just give it to him. So once he gets chewing on that, which he likes them a lot, if I ought to, at this age, be able to walk up and pat him. Right? He's going to move away. Oh, he's going to move into his crate. That's even better. You ought to be able to do that. There would be no reason why, unless you had a puppy that had issues with objects already, that you couldn't pat them while they were doing that. So I may need to have him come out of there so we can do this. Come here, silly boy. Good boy. See how he readily got up? I'm going to have him get the chicken. I'm going to give him this back. It's not about taking things away. Oh, no, I don't want you on the couch. No couch. You're just going to have to lay on the floor like a dog. So let him get settled down. Get off the couch. He still wants to get back in the crate. Just lie down on the floor. Here's another reason I like the leash. I can prevent the behavior from happening. He's just going to have to adjust that he can't be on the couch. And this Bo is not my dog. This is from his family that allows him on the furniture at their house, but I don't allow him on the furniture here. So he will figure that out, right? Pretty short order. That's not working for me. The leash allows me to take him off the furniture without touching him, because touching him could potentially be reinforcing. And I don't get any sort of power struggle about trying to grab his collar. All right, so he's 14 weeks. He has a nice bully stick. You ought to be able to, at this point, pat your dog while they have it. I would absolutely expect that most people with puppies could do this, okay? The problem is doing this isn't preventing resource guarding. Depending on the puppy's demeanor, you could be causing it to happen when they're older. Developmentally, resource guarding happens at about 18 months, plus or minus. Okay, that's the normal time. If a dog is going to have resource guarding, you'll see it at about 18 months. Not always, but if. Okay, if you don't have it, don't worry about it. You don't need to. But as a preventative, I'm going to reach in the bag of tricks. And I always want the dog to see me coming, which is why I get up and move in front of him. And I'm just going to approach, and I'm going to drop some. And I can get close to him because there's no issue with him guarding. Let him eat that. I'm going to let him start chewing on it again. Well, so what I have is better than the bully stick. I like that even better. Huh. So when your dog does that, just put the chicken away. Go back to what you were doing. He'll re-find the bully stick. So it's nice that chicken will trump that. Use this to my advantage. The puppy's... Okay. So now I can't even get up, right? This is all good. This isn't bad. It's just I want you to see the process. So he's already anticipating what's going to happen, which is exactly how we prevent resource guarding. So even though he's not here, I could pick it up, I could give him the chicken, and I can put it back. Again, if I don't need it, I don't need to take it away from him. Good boy. So I think he's queuing off of my bait bag opening, so let's see if we can just take this off. Bully sticks can be nice and soft. I've soaked this one in some water so that it was softer for him. His teeth are still puppy teeth. Good. So we can also do it once he gets chewing on it again. cleaning up the floor. I just didn't want him to get on the couch, so I thought I'd grab the leash. But this is all fine because he's more interested in the other food, which is perfect. And you should just routinely do this. Give your dog a bully stick. Give them a bone. So this one doesn't have anything in it. I call it just a naked bone. He just likes to chew on those. He may not do it today for us. But again, when he is, you can walk up, pick up the bone, he gets the chicken. And if you needed this for some reason because it was something you didn't want, then put it away. If you can have it back, then by all means, let him have it back. I'm going to grab one of the bones with some peanut butter in it. So this has just a very little bit of peanut butter in there. So good boy, I like that he sits. He can have that. That, I wouldn't consider that high value, but again, I'm not a dog. So you just need to be sure that what you have will trump that. And we're back on the couch. No couch. So I body blocked the couch from him. Okay, so we can do it with him there. I'm going to step up to him. I'm going to put the chicken where you can see it. Good boy. So he likes the peanut butter a little bit more than the other thing. So I'm going to just drop the chicken. He didn't look up to me. He did not anticipate my coming towards him. That's all right. Just pointing things out. I would expect in time he would. A little too hard for you. Okay, so we did 2. Now if I have to pick it up, I can just give him. And I'm going to pick up this one. And I'm going to give him that. And I'm going to leave the bully stick down there for him. So make a trade. Trade, 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 trade. You may end up, sometimes I have people tell me, oh, you know, I've been making trades when my dog takes the dish towel off the counter or socks. And that's great, because now what they end up with is a dog that comes to them with socks, dish towels, whatever it is that they've picked up. And that's a lot better for them to bring it to you than for you to chase them. Never chase your dog when they have, good boy, when they have interesting things. Because that is their favorite game, is to play chase and keep away. And you may get madder and madder trying to get these things from them, but they're having a great time. All right, so let's recap briefly. We covered a lot. Impulse control is how you put the food down on the floor. Ask your dog to sit. Come here. You're going to ask him to sit. You're going to tell him to wait. You're going to put the food bowl down. Once it's on the floor, you stand up and you tell your dog when they can go. That's great impulse control. Another piece of impulse control is when you take a treat. Put this back on, hang on. When you take a treat and you're going to bring it down to them and he has to wait or actually move his head away from me. Good boy, that was very nice. Initially when I did this exercise with him, he was always lunging and grabbing my hands, grabbing my hands. So any movement towards me will make the food go away. And he dropped his head. Good boy. That's a very good boy. Okay. Impulse control with the crate. So you can certainly use the food to get in. Get in. There's no dummy, it's in your hand. Get in. Good boy. And I am going to close it. So impulse control also comes in when he gets out of the crate. I'm going to say wait, and if he moves forward before I tell him, he's going to get the door pushed back onto him. Wait. Good boy. Wait. Wait. He has to wait until I stand up. Wait. Okay, and then he can come out. Scratching, digging, barking, not going to get anywhere. Okay, all impulse control, and the wait will help transfer to your wait for food and wait when you're outside. All right, leash. The leash is on him primarily for house training reasons, but we also saw how convenient it is to take him off the couch when I don't want him on the couch, which I don't want him on. Leave the leash on so that if you see your dog having an accident in the house, you can just run right up. You can say, no, 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 no. Pick up the end of the leash, and outside you go, okay? Puppies should have no free time in the house. Honestly, there's nothing there. No free time, unsupervised. He can be up here with me when I'm doing things up here. He's still dragging the leash, and I watch him all the time, so I know what's happening. If I can't watch him, if I'm sitting down, he's with me, or he might be tied to my table, or he might have to be crated. But there's no opportunity to eliminate in the house. It feels restrictive, it is restrictive, but it's the fastest and best way for house training. When the dog eliminates outside, be sure you have a little cookie in your pocket so you can give him a little something right after he goes to the bathroom, okay? I've had people tell me, oh, as soon as my dog comes inside from going to the bathroom, I treat him in the kitchen. And then you could easily end up with a dog that wants to go out and come back in for the treat, because the treat happens when the dog comes in the house, not for elimination. Too many things have happened between those two events. Dogs don't connect multiple dots. They connect this dot to this dot, and that's about as far as they go, okay? We did some lure reward training. So he started with you lure the behavior, the dog gets it. The next step is you lure the behavior, that one goes away, and the next treat comes from your other hand. Very, very, very important step to know. You gonna come and demonstrate? And then the third step is no food, and you can just get the behavior. Good boy. He does not have it on verbal. Hand signals will always be stronger for dogs because they are masters at reading body language. The next important piece to do with your dog is generalize those behaviors. And you may need food to do this. So where's the end of my couch here? So he's just going to lie there, but we'll see if we can get him up. Bo, come here. Sit. Good boy. So I do practice putting myself in different behaviors, different positions, to make sure no matter what I'm doing that he will comply. Down. Good boy. He can still get something for that. You can do something silly. You ready? Let's get you here. Let's get him up. You can do something silly like bending over. Down. I'm going to wait. Nothing. Down. Still nothing. So what do? I'm going to go back to the second step. Treats in both hands. Down. Lure. It goes away, and he gets the other one. Good boy. And I also need to make a note that this position is hard for him. Nope, come here. Down. Good boy. So that was no food. It doesn't take long, but put yourself in different positions, sitting at the dining room table, eating, rocking chair, reading with a magazine. Generalize it. So regardless of your body position, your dog will comply with your commands for sit and down. Take them everywhere you can, particularly puppies. There's lots of stores around here that allow you to bring your dog in. Go to those places. If you're going to go to Hannaford's, take your dog, walk him around the plaza once, put him back in his crate in his car, and do your grocery shopping. But dogs need to get out and see everything they can possibly see while they're puppies before they get to be old, because you cannot socialize an old dog or an older dog, even a dog that's 1 or 2. The socialization window is really closed, and you've got who you've got at that point. So we can train a dog at any age, but we cannot socialize them at any age. You can only socialize puppies. Kids, skateboards, men, hats, beards, coats, goggles, skis, boots, bicycles. Keene State College, as the weather gets better, is a really great place to go so that your dogs see and hear all those things. Just walking around Main Street, you're going to get police cars and fire engines and all those kinds of loud things as well. All right, come here. So Bo, come here. Good boy. So thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Doggy Dilemmas, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
If you have a doggy dilemma, Denise can help. Visit www.denisemazzola.com for more information. Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer tested through the Association of Pet Dog Trainers. The association requires recertification every 3 years with a minimum of 30 hours of continuing education. She has been training dogs and working with families for over 20 years.